Do you ever feel overwhelmed by your inbox? Imagine if you could label, filter, and respond to emails automatically with summaries ready for you. So, in this video, I'll show you the exact AI automation that saves me hours every week and keeps my inbox under control. Plus, I'll share some unique tips to make this automation work even better for you. My name is Nick, and I'm an AI automation consultant. I've helped small businesses of various industries use AI and automation systems to save them hours every single day to ultimately help them scale their business. So, today we're tackling one of the biggest time wasters, which is managing emails. So, I'll show you how to set up an AI system that labels, filters, and responds to your emails automatically. You'll also learn how to get concise summaries of your emails and then get a Slack message so you can focus on what matters most. So stick around to see how this automation can transform your workflow and boost your productivity. By the way, I'm offering free AI automation audit calls for small businesses where I'll identify the bottlenecks and growth constraints in your business and help you install them to help you scale. So getting into this automation, I will be creating a step-by-step and actually creating it out so you can see exactly how I did it myself. But real quick, I just wanted to show you how this will actually look like. So basically, I'm just using a few different modules. So I'm using Gmail Watch emails. You could also use different platforms like Outlook 365 because I know that's a pretty popular um, email service. But I'm just using Gmail because that's what I use personally. And basically, I'm just having AI just look at that email contents of whatever email I'm receiving, and I'm just having it decipher which filter or which folder or label it should be put under. So once that happens, it's going to be put under meeting or to process slash read through. So you can add so many different more little routes or paths, if you would like to call them. But I kept it pretty simple here. So it's just meeting and to process slash read through. And then I'm having this go down through the meeting route. And what this is doing here is it's going to basically try to set up a meeting. So whenever somebody asks me if I have time to, schedule an audit call or any other sort of call, I will have AI search through my Google Calendar and see when I have some time slots, and then I would reply back to the person emailing me, basically just suggesting a time to meet that I prefer in my schedule. So I like to work in afternoons or take my meetings in afternoons and evenings. So that's when I told AI to basically respond with and find times for. And then down here, this is basically just going to categorize some emails, like maybe it's a newsletter that I'm receiving. This will then be categorized into to process slash read through. And then I'm just having GPT summarize that email and send me a Slack message with a summarization. So let's go ahead and actually build this out. So let's go ahead and go to scenarios. I'm going to make a new tab and I'll click create a new scenario. And we're going to start off with a trigger. So if you don't know what a trigger is already, basically it just starts the automation. So whenever I'm receiving an email, and I'll have to change a little bit, but basically whenever I'm receiving an email in my inbox, this automation will trigger. So if you want it to trigger when you receive a particular kind of email, then you could do so. But that's basically the gist of it. But let's go ahead and select the folder. So I want to watch all mails or all emails coming in, and we'll do one for how many emails we're going to be watching. So if I receive 5 emails and I only wanted to watch one of them, then I'll just type in one. But if I want my automation to watch all of them, all 5 of those emails that came in, all you do is just put in 5. So pretty simple stuff, and you can select different criteria. So only unread emails or only read emails or all emails. So I'm going to be doing all emails, and we'll click OK, and we'll choose where to start, and it's from now on. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be using OpenAI. So we'll do create a completion, and we're basically going to summarize the emails. Well, not summarize it yet, but we're going to have GPT look at the contents of the email it's receiving and just decide what folder or what path it should be going into. So as I showed you earlier, there's the meeting and to process slash read through route. So this is where I'm going to have AI decide if it's going into one of those 2 folders. So we could just use a 3.5 turbo module. Pretty simple stuff, so we don't have to get anything crazy. And I'm just going to go in content or copy the content from this. I'll explain it in a second. But basically, I'm just having it classify. I'm saying classify the following email content into these 3. So meeting, to process slash read through, and business. So actually, I'm not going to do the business one. I'm going to keep it simple. So it's just going to be to process slash read through and meeting. So I then told it if it's not meeting, then put it in to process slash read through. And then I provided the content of the email. So how you can find that. So I typed in content, and what you'll do is you'll go to your mappings and you'll see all the way down here is text content. And we'll just give it a set amount of tokens. So we'll do 300 because it won't be a completely crazy process. Now, we're going to be adding a router because routers are used for setting off different paths. So if you want to have two different routes and have them do different things, this is where routers come into play. So we're going to start off with a, I believe it's move an email. Yeah, okay. So basically this is where we're going to be putting these specific emails into different folders. So this one right here can be to process / read through. So I will say in advance that you have to create these folders beforehand. So all you do is just go into your email, set up those folders, set up those labels, and you'll find them right here. So as you can see here, I should have to process / read through. Actually, this is the folder that we're going to be checking everything. And the destination folder is where we want it to be, obviously. So we'll just select to process / read through. So this is where the email was prior. And then you'll just get the email ID, which is all the way, I believe it's at the bottom. Okay, right there. And let me just go ahead and make sure that I'm doing this correctly. Okay. Yep. So now I'll just go ahead and set up another OpenAI module. Now, what I want to do is basically summarize these emails. So let's say it's a newsletter that I'm receiving, or really any other piece of information. So anything besides a meeting. I just want to summarize that email and send a Slack message to me to just notify me and give me a brief summarization. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So the use cases are kind of crazy, and you can use your imagination to different things that you would like to do. So maybe you have specific bottlenecks pertaining to your inbox and you would like to set up some different filters and maybe use AI for that. But we're just going to be doing some simple stuff. So let's go ahead and use 3.5. Actually, we use the new GPT 4.0. And we'll be just giving it a specific prompt. So let me go ahead and copy that, and I'll explain that in a second as well. So I'll take this over, paste it in. So basically I'm just saying summarize the contents of this email, no more than 3 to 5 sentences, and break it into bullet points if necessary for ease of reading. And I just give it the content to summarize, and similar to before, you'll find the content down in here. And then we'll just go ahead and select the token. So we'll do like 350 or something like that. And now we'll just add a Slack module, and we'll be sending myself a message. So we'll do create a message. Let me make sure I'm in the right channel. So go to my company channel, and I'll select from the list. So I'm just going to have it send me a DM, but you could also put it into channels. So maybe you have an email channel that you created. You could also put it in there. So I'll just find my name. Maybe I'll have to do direct message. Let me try that. Okay, so there's my username, and then we'll just go ahead and get the context or the content. So let me see what this one was. So this was number 5, and we'll be putting the content in from this number 5 module. So we'll just take the content message, the content there, and that looks good. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm now in a different email, and basically I have this newsletter that I receive basically every day, and it just gives me some insights on what's going on within the AI world. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different information. So I'm just gonna go ahead and forward this to the other inbox. So we'll just go ahead and forward. So coming into my other email inbox where I set up the automations in. So as you can see, I have this email right here. I'm actually gonna go ahead and mark it on red. And we'll go back into the automation, and let's go ahead and run this and just see if it works or not. So let me make sure this is entered properly. Click OK, and let's go ahead and just run this once. Okay, it looks good. And something that I actually forgot to do is set up filters, but it's not going to matter unless I set up the other path first, but I'll get into that in a second. But let's just go ahead and see what this did. So I'll go ahead and go into my Slack channel. So coming into our Slack channel, as you can see, I'm in my company Slack, and down here under Integromat. So I received a DM, and basically it's saying this email discusses how AI can enhance creativity in artists and offer various insights and updates related to AI and tech. Key topics include scrutiny of OpenAI's non-disclosure agreements, and then provides a bunch of different information. So you could even prompt the AI to, only pick the most important things from the email that I received. And you could also prompt it to say different things like a new email came in. You could also put it into, have these messages going to different channels and everything like that. But let's go ahead and check the email and see what happened. So let's go ahead and just make sure that it went into the right tab. So as you can see here, I have to process/read through. And now I have this email that was forwarded to me now in here. So this email ran perfectly. And let's go ahead and set up the next part of the automation, which is automatically suggesting times from your calendar. So to do this, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to add a similar module. So we'll add the move an email, and we're just going to move the emails from the normal inbox or all inbox to a meeting folder. So let me go ahead and find this real quick once this loads in, and we'll go to all mail, and the destination folder, it's going to be plopped into the business tab. And then similar to before, we'll put the email ID in, select that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use Google Calendar, and we're going to search for events. So let me go ahead and find this, and we'll search events. And basically I'm just finding availability in my calendar set up specific times. So in this specific instance, I'm going to be sending my email, which is the one that I'm running this automation on. I'm going to be sending that email a question saying like, hey, can you meet sometime this week or next week for an audit call? And then basically I'm going to have this automation just send an email back and just say something like, yeah, does this time work for you? And it finds that time through looking through my calendar and make sure there's no complications or anything that will override it. So the calendar ID, we're going to be using my primary. Start date, we will do the time that was, we're going to start from the date that this email was sent. So we'll find date right here, and we'll go ahead and copy the end date because I structured it a little bit differently than you might expect. So I'll show you how to do that in a second, or you could just copy it straight into. Go ahead and go back here, put the end date. So all I'm doing is adding, basically I'm going to add days, and I want to look 14 days in advance of this date right here. So today is the 16th, and I'm going to be looking 14 days after today for complications and everything like that. And then we'll leave updated from alone and the query alone, and we'll search all different types of events, and we'll do the limit of 10 different results. So that's how you do that. Let's go ahead and choose the next part, which is OpenAI, and we're going to create another completion. Now we're going to basically, I'll show you the prompt right here. And let's go ahead and copy this. We'll use GPT-4o. We'll use the best one out there. So go ahead and paste this in. So basically I'm saying your job is to search my calendar and find a time to schedule a meeting invite. I'm just saying it's going to be a 30-minute meeting. So I like to schedule my meetings in the afternoons and evenings preferably. All you have to do is suggest the time by saying, does, insert the time, work for you? And we're just going to input the mapping from the calendar. So with here, you're just going to be selecting the start and the end. So these are, I'm going to say calendar events right here. Calendar events already scheduled. So it's going to work around those calendar events. So we'll just go ahead and click OK. Put in some tokens. So we'll do like 500 or something. We'll do a little bit more, even though it's probably not going to use anything close. And we're going to then create an email. So I'm just going to copy the contents of this. Actually, I'll just leave it alone. But go ahead and create a draft. And we'll put the two. So we'll find an email address. So I want this from the email address right there. Choose the subject. So we'll just say something like, we're just going to copy the subject that was sent to us. So that'll be that. And the content will be this little mapping right here from OpenAI. So that's the number 9 module. So we'll just go ahead and see that this is number 9. Go to the drop down, find message, go to content, and that'll be that. So we'll just say something like, actually we can leave it like that. So let's just go ahead and run this and see what happens. So let's choose a folder. So the folder that we want this to be in. So we'll just do drafts. So now let's go ahead and go to a different email, and let's go ahead and send an email to the email that I'm using the automation on. So I'm going to be using Nick Peru. And the subject, we'll just do something like meeting. And I'll say, or before we do that, I have to get back into filters. So with filters, basically, if you don't put a filter on, it's going to be running through both of these different paths. And we only want it to run through one different path. So this one is the to process / read through. So we'll set up a filter for that. So that's why we have this little module right here. So I'll put this to process / read through. And the condition, so if this module right here, if the content equals to process / read through. So I'll add some different, so if it's to process / read through. So we'll just copy the content again, click OK. So basically, if any words consist of to process / read through, then it'll go through this side. And if anything will be containing, meeting, because we have this output specifically say something like meeting or to process / read through. And if it's meeting, then it'll just go down this side. So let's go ahead and set that one up. So this one will just be meeting, so simple. And we'll do the contents right here. Choose that, and we'll just do meeting. Add another one, just in case nothing slips through the cracks. So meeting, just put a quote on the end, quotation. Okay, looks good. So let's go ahead and send an email off. Let's just say, hey, do you have 30 minutes sometime this week for an audit call? Let's go ahead and send that. So as you can see at the top here, I have a request to set up a meeting, or an audit call rather. So let's go ahead and go to the automation and try running this. So as you can see, the message content contained meeting. So it ran through this bottom side. So there's the content right there. And this ran properly. So if this did work, so we're going to come into our inbox and just go to the label. So as you can see, it's now in this little label or folder right here. And it also sent in draft email. So let's go ahead and check that one out. So if you go to drafts, it should be there. And as you can see at the top, so basically there's the subject line that I picked, and it's going to this email. And basically it just says, does 3 p.m. on July 17th, 2024 work for you? So if we went ahead and went into my calendar, then I shouldn't have anything at 3 p.m. scheduled already. So there you have it, an AI automation that labels, filters, and even responds to your emails, saving you countless hours each week. So this tool doesn't just streamline your inbox, it frees up your time for more important tasks and reduces the stress of email overload. So imagine never missing an important message and having all your emails neatly organized and summarized. So if you're looking to implement systems like this or other ones into your business, then schedule in a free AI audit call with me. The link is in the description. And with that being said, I hope you found some real value in this video, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.